Hey guys, Jeremy here. I'm here to show you guys some things you should do to your car for maintenance, and also things that you should keep in your car so that you'll be ready when you need it, when you come across some unexpected things such as like bad weather in the winter, etc. Alright, so let's take a look in the car here. So in my car I have a little kit with a whole bunch of stuff. I got some Rain-X windshield fluid. I got a thing of salt, but it's actually filled halfway with sand, so it's 50-50 salt and sand mixture so that it doesn't just melt the ice, but it also gives me some traction if I need it. I got a little snow shovel. This is a foldable, not foldable, but it retracts, so if you undo this here, it actually gets a long handle so you don't injure your back. And a snow scraper. Very important to keep a decent snow scraper in the car. You know, the cheap ones come in okay in a pinch, but if you're going to be living in New England, you want to have a decent snow scraper, especially when you get a lot of snow. All right, nice thing about this is you push the button, it's retractable. Now, that is a nice long snow scraper. All right, I could scrape all the way across the car with that. It doesn't want to detract right now. But anyways, so this is nice because you've got the rubber push blade here. This is good for getting the snow off your car without, like, you can push the snow and it's not going to scratch your car very much. All right, this is the snow brush for getting the snow off the window. And then this is the scraper. This is good for, you know, getting the chunks of ice that are stuck on the window and stuff like that. But you don't want to use this end on the paint, because if you use this on the paint, that's going to scratch your car up, and, you know, if it's your parents' car, they're not going to be very happy with you. All right, so that's what this foam part is for when you got to push the snow off the car itself. It will push the snow without scratching the car. All right, I'll fix that afterwards. All right, so Rain-X windshield fluid. Always important to keep your windshield fluid full, especially in the wintertime. You're going to use that over and over again. Every time it snows, you're going to get road gunk on the window. Okay, so you're going to want to use that. This also applies the beading technology, which Rain-X does. It doesn't totally, you know, Rain-X your windows, but if you already use it, then it's good stuff because it helps keep it up when you use your wiper fluid. It doesn't wash it off. A flashlight. Always keep a good bright flashlight in your car. Okay, nice to have rechargeable ones, then you don't worry about them ever running out or ever dying. Okay, so a few good tools are good because you know, you don't need to have a huge toolbox, but you have the essentials and you're good. This is a multi-purpose tool screwdriver. Okay, you got a Phillips head here, but as you can see here, you got a whole bunch of other tips. You just spin it and you get a different tip in there. All right, nice to keep one good big solid screwdriver. This is going to come in handy if you got anything messed up in the car, you got to fix yourself in a bind. You got a decent screwdriver to be able to do that. Okay, and inside, it's nice to have some Armor All spray. Also, cleaning wipes. Okay, this is going to make your dashboard look nice and clean. So you take a look at my dashboard up there, right? It's shiny clean. This car looks like it's brand new inside. I got 140,000 miles on it. It looks like the day it came off the showroom floor. Okay, a funnel. Very nice thing to have. It doesn't have to be this size funnel. It can be a little bit smaller if you want, but you really want to have a funnel. So if you ever have to add oil, you've got it. Let's see. You've got Rain-X. Okay, this is what I was talking about. You apply Rain-X by putting it on your window. You spray it on, then you wipe it with a cloth, like a paper towel type cloth. Sometimes they even say crinkled up newspapers is good, but you do that, you let it sit for a few minutes, and then you wipe it off completely. It makes this beading, the water beads up, and when you're going down the highway, it could be raining and you won't even hardly need your wipers because the water just literally flies off your window. Makes it so much clearer to see. Okay, it's good to have a rag. So this is a rag I'm going to use when I check my oil. And then you got an absorber. This is good for when I'm drying my car after I go through a car wash. You'll get all those spots all over your car. You don't want to get spots on your car because they actually do set after time, especially with hard water, if you got a not such a clean car wash or whatever. So it's good to have the wipes to be able to wipe your car down when you're done. Some stuff, upholstery cleaner. You know, you get a little spray or something, like a little stain on your seat, you can use this brush and you push the button and it puts the upholstery cleaner right on your seat. You vacuum it right off, you got a nice clean car seat. Okay? And turtle wax. So waxing a car is a really nice thing to do because it makes it so that the water beads off of it. It also protects the paint, makes it last much longer. Hence I have a car with 140,000 miles and it looks like it just came off the showroom floor. Alright, never a bad idea to keep some gloves in the car so that if you got to do any work on the car, you don't have to worry about hurting yourself. Alright, so that's the back of the car. Let's go up front here and take a look under the hood. Oh. I want to grab the cloth. Alright, so first we're going to get in the car, show you a couple of things. So underneath down here on the floor, you've got your gas pedal is on the right, your brake pedal is on the left, and this over here, this is my parking brake. This is my emergency brake. Alright, it's different than a lot of cars. A lot of times you'll see a parking brake up in here, a pull handle. Okay, you're seeing that less and less. In my car, it's down there. Okay, I step on it once, and that's going to apply the brake. I step on it again, that's going to release the brake. Okay, so right here is the dashboard. I'm going to turn on the key. So here's the ignition. So I put the key in the ignition. I'm just going to turn it forward just enough, not to start it, but just to have it light up here. So you can see over here, this is the temperature gauge. It's still hot from when I was driving a little while ago. Here's my radio. Okay. This is the RPMs. This tells how many revolutions times 1,000 per minute that the engine is making. Okay, generally speaking, when you're driving, it's somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 RPMs, depending on what gear you're in. Alright, so this is my fuel gauge. I'm at just between half and 3/4 of a tank. That is more gas than, less gas than I like to have. I usually, once I hit a half a tank, I try to fill it up. Alright, so right over here, this is my speedometer. So this is going to show how fast I'm going in miles per hour. Okay? Now, I can actually hit a button in here. So if I go to Canada, I can hit a button. It'll switch it over so it tells me how fast I'm going in kilometers. That way I can see what their street signs are saying for speed and I can adjust accordingly. Okay? I did that when I went up to visit Niagara Falls. Alright, now this is my battery, my voltage. So right here it's showing that I'm at right around 11 volts or so. So I got things running in my car right now. I don't want to do that with a battery off. So I'm going to start the car real quick. Now you'll notice once things adjust, voltage went right up, which is a nice sign. Tells me my alternator's working good. See how quickly my voltage is climbing? All right. So right here, you've got, this tells what gear I'm in, okay? I've also got my shifter down here, which shows me what gear I'm in. So that's reverse, neutral, drive, and low. I never shift these without my foot being down there on the brake. Okay, I'm holding down the brake. See? So, all right. Now, as you can see, when I shift, it's gonna switch gears as I switch. All right. Generally, you will use low drive. Okay. If you go to low in the driver's ed cars, the Chevy Cruises that we have, it actually comes over here, and you can go up and down. So you hit a button on a trailer, or I was climbing a hill or something where I needed the extra engine oomph, or a lot of different scenarios why you might need it, but most of the time you're just simply going to be using drive. Okay, that right there just says I'm pointing south. Okay, so there's my odometer right there. I got 141,243 miles on my car. Okay, so a couple other things. It's just good to know where things like your air conditioner are, okay? Your radio. So I turn on my radio, I got my dials. I don't have to play with my radio when I'm driving down the highway, because I can just sit here like this and I got controls like that. That's also for my hands free. If my phone rings, I don't have to even reach for my phone or look at it or anything like that. I just hit the button and I can answer, and I can hang up right there. All right, so right here, this is cruise control. Not every car has cruise control, but it's a nice feature to have, especially if you've got a long drive on the highway or whatever. Sometimes you can get distracted, and next thing you know, you're going 75 miles an hour on 55-mile-an-hour highway. So you set your cruise control for the speed limit and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about your speed. You still need to keep your eye on the road and make sure you don't fall asleep. Okay, so right here is my light controls. Okay, right now it's set to auto, so my lights will turn on automatically when it gets dark out. Okay, I can turn them on manually. That's my parking lights, that's my regular headlights, and if I push this, that's my fog lights. Okay, if I want them completely off, so even if I was sitting here at night but I didn't want, say, light up my driveway or anything like that, I can just do that. Now my lights are off, and it says there, automatic light control off. So, all right, very important to just know where these things are. Shut off my radio. Another thing you want to keep in mind is your lights. So you want to make sure that, oh, they're on right now because my tailgate is still open. But you want to make sure that you do not leave your lights on, because in this car they happen to shut off after about 5 minutes, but you can kill your battery if you leave your lights on. And window controls. Alright, if you have a child in the car or someone you don't want to be able to roll down the window, you can hit this button right here. And this locks out all the windows. So only these controls work, none of the ones in the back seats work. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to go under the hood. So I'm going to pull on this lever right here. Take my keys out so it doesn't beep. I'm going to pull on this lever right here. And in this car, I just lift up a little bit. I got to reach under here, and there is a little catch. So I pull on the catch, and now I can lift up the hood. You notice I couldn't open it all the way without doing that catch. This is a safety catch here. So it's right here, just like that. That keeps it so that if I accidentally pull that lever or hit that lever in the car when I'm driving, the hood's not going to fly up. It's going to catch on this, and it's going to keep my hood from flying open on me. All right. So looking under the hood here, this is my dipstick right here. This is how I check my oil. Okay, so I'm going to pull this, and the first thing you do is you wipe it off. You don't bother even looking at it because it doesn't matter. It's got oil on it from the engine running. You always want to do this when the engine is hot, is at least warm, because a good science lesson here, oil expands and contracts. So if you check it when it's cold, you're not going to get an accurate level. So you want to know what your oil level is when your engine is hot. All right, so now I look here, and I just had it changed yesterday, so it's nice and clean, and you can see that it goes right to there, so I got a perfectly full oil level. So that is how you check your oil. If I wanted to add oil, I would remove this cap right here, I would put my funnel in right here, and I would pour oil in. You want to use a funnel, because if you spill oil around here, it's going to get on the engine and it's going to burn and make smoke, and it's not something very good to look at. And you notice I got a little bit of crap around here. You want to watch out for that stuff, because if any of that stuff falls down inside, that can, just one little piece of sand can act like like a diamond in a giant in the engine. It just literally rip it to shreds. So you don't want to let anything fall inside. What I should have done is, before I even opened it, I should have taken my rag and just cleaned around it like that, but I didn't, but I was careful. All right, the next thing you want to check is your fluid level. This is your antifreeze fluid, okay? This is not windshield fluid. So if you need to add any fluid, you add it right here, okay? You don't have to pop. I don't have an available radiator cap. My radiator sits right under here. If I had it and my engine was hot, which you guys know it was because I was just running my engine, if I tried to open it, it would squirt all over me, hot boiling fluid, and it would burn me and probably send me to the hospital. So always be careful when you do this. Make sure that if you have a pressure cap on here, that you do not open it when your engine is hot, because you don't want this on you, okay? But you look here and I'm at a good level right here. Now, the other thing you always want to check, especially in the winter, come on the other side, is your windshield fluid. So this is your windshield fluid fill. You know that because you got the windshield picture. If you look at this one and you look at this one, that's a very different picture, okay? Make sure you don't get mixed up, because you don't want to put windshield fluid in your antifreeze or antifreeze fluid in your windshield, because that would just be bad. So to add in windshield fluid is very easy. So I'm going to do that right now real quick. Windshield fluid with the Rain-X. This isn't that big of a deal if you spill a little bit, because it's not a big deal, but you don't want to get a ton of it on the ground, because you don't want a dog or animal to come along and try to drink it. If you do, just rinse it off with a hose real quick. And that's it. I wasn't down all that far. Now I'm nice and full. In the winter time, this is very important, because as you're driving in the winter, you're driving behind other people, all the snow and crap and everything from the plows and the salt in the road kicks up, and you want to be able to wash your windows constantly. All right? And that's it. Thank you very much, and have a good day.